Hey guys, hopefully everybody's doing great today. So it's good to see all of you guys. So today I want to talk about how to switch to what I call a parallel reality or another reality, or how to ignore your current reality, right? So that you could get into what's called your future, or what is known as your true reality of your desires. So we all know about the universe, but hey, I got news for you. It's no longer the universe, it's now the multiverse. That's right. Within the past 3, 5 to 10 years, now we've discovered that we don't live in a universe. Universe means one. We now live in a multiverse. Multiverse means infinite copies of the universe. So it technically means that you may have another version somewhere in this vast infinite region of space or time that you are connected to and you can tap into. Think about that. Now look, you have to have an open mind here, because here's something I want you to understand. The universe we call, but now the multiverse, doesn't have to make sense to us. We invented things making sense to us. Everything has to make logical sense to the human mind. It does not work that way with physics and the laws of the universe or multiverse. Religion messed that up, because we were taught that there's only this way, that way. This is how God works, and this is how that. Here, listen, newsflash. God, the creator, whatever you want to call that source, he doesn't work the way religion makes you work. So this is where you have to have an open mind. And now when you have an open mind, you can tap in and get other higher dimension of consciousness. Because again, this brain, our intellect mind, was not created to make sense of how the multiverse works. It was basically created to just interact with the environment. Now you see what I mean? All right, so let's get into that now. So how you can ignore your current reality and manifest or create what you want. So if your world, your reality right now is not what you want it to be, you can't get things, you're not succeeding, it's just not working for you, and you're saying to yourself, man, I know about this manifest thing, and I've been seeing the law of attraction, seeing all these videos and all these teachers, and they're basically telling me that, I have to basically feel it, and then I have to live act as if, or act as is, and to get into my reality. But how can I do that when what's happening in my life is so distracting? I can't even focus on what I want, because I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to make sense of all of this. So now you're just telling me that I can switch realities. How is that even possible? What can I do? Is there some simple thing? Is this true? Does this work? The answer is yes, it does. It truly does. Because here's how it works. So this is space. So behind me, my chair right here, this is called space, right? See the little space around me, right? Within this space right around me right now is what we call the ether. Excuse me. Familiar with the ether? The ether is what's known as a 0-point energy field. In physics, it means that this space you see right now, if we can see in a different spectrum of light, is like fluidity. It's fluid, and it's alive, and it's moving. And within this space is what's called subatomic particles, beyond quantum particles. You got atoms, neutrons, protons. Subatomic is beyond that. And beyond that, then we move into dimensions. So that in actuality, there is right now a region in this space right now where you, or a version of you, is actually there achieving your goals. The reason you cannot tap or see that version or see how it works is because of that fluidity. The subatomic world works different than this dimension. In other words, the particles have a different charge there, but with that charge, it's incompatible with us physically experiencing it. That's the simplest way I can make it for you to understand. Now, this is physics. This is experiment. These are processes have been done to verify this. So this field is called 0-point energy field. And matter of fact, Nikola Tesla was onto this many years ago. He found a way to tap into the 0-point energy field. What he did, he used like a huge superconductor magnet, and he basically put a lot of energy, and he actually bore a little hole in space where you could access that energy. Within the 0-point energy field, there is so much energy. If you could take a little teaspoon of this energy right now in this free space, it could literally power the earth for 10 years. That's how much energy there is. Now, within this field exist different dimensions. That says that you, our version of you, is somewhere out there, a successful version. Now, you can tap into that version because everything is one. What's known as non-locality means that your consciousness doesn't obey the same rules as physics or time. Your consciousness operates in a non-locale field. They call it non-locality. It means that you can bypass what we call physical time or laws of physics here, and you can tap into another version. So it's very powerful because this is actually how I get information. I channel information through this way, through higher consciousness, through meditation, through visualization, such forth. But I'm gonna show you an easy way that you can tap into a parallel version of yourself to whatever. You could win the lottery, you could manifest a home, relationship, businesses, all this, because there is a version of that existing. This is according to the multiverse now, because the multiverse says that space in the atoms in our body, they can only come to a finite way. I mean, they can only organize in a finite way. Until that time, they'll start to repeat. Think about that. Yeah, so if they start to repeat, has to mean they have to come to the same component, same carbon base, which is what you and I are made of. So there has to be a version of you out there somewhere. You and I can't reach it though, because it's so infinitely far. But the only way to get there is through your consciousness. So the easiest way for a beginner, for you to do this, and you can use it, you're going to use your mirror. That's the easiest way to see this. And I call this holographic projection. So all you have to do, it's going to take a little practice. All you have to do to ignore and tap into reality, what we want to do, we basically want to superimpose that which we desire, that reality, into this physical, what we call perceived reality. The easy way to do that is if you get up in the morning and you look in your mirror, of course you'll see the reflection of you. You see yourself or whatever. Now what you want to do, let's just use for a change in your body, for example. So let's say when you look in the mirror, you'll see your physical self. But start to practice and just superimpose in your mind's eye perfect body for you. See yourself in that body. It's gonna feel a little weird at first because your mind has to, what I call, transmute to that dimension or to that thing. But if you practice enough, you'll see it. You can actually change your body doing this. All right. Now, once you see yourself in the mirror, then you can move it to the next level. So you can look in that same mirror now, and when you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing yourself, but the reflections in the back of the mirror, you're seeing your new reality. So let's say if your mirror is in the room, so you're looking in the mirror now, we're going to delete your room, and we're going to look in the mirror, but we're going to see everything in the background that you want. You're going to see that house in the background, see that car in the background, you're going to see yourself running that business, you'll see yourself on the vacation in the background. This can be done, it takes practice. But it does work because once you superimpose in the mind, once the mind starts to see this, it basically is hallucinating it. Once it starts to hallucinate this, then there's no difference because this takes place in the hippocampus part of our brain. So your mind does not know the difference. So I call this holographic and superimposing. So once you start to do this, you take it to the next level. So now you're walking around everywhere in your reality, you start to superimpose this image. So let's say you're going in your car and you want a new car. Superimpose the new car into this car. You sit in the car, you have to literally pretend or see this car as a new car. You're walking into your home, you superimpose the image of this new home. Now, this is very powerful because here's what's happening. Once you what I call holographic superimposition, what happens now is kind of tricks your subconscious mind. Because now in your mind, you're using your conscious mind to see these images. Now the subconscious mind now is a little bit, I would say, just so you can understand, I use the word confused, but it can never be confused. But for you to get the point, I want you to hear. So what it starts to do now, it starts to say, wait a minute, which reality are we in here? See that? That's what you want. You want your subconscious mind now to start questioning, okay, which reality are we in? Now that's where it's going to start to work. And once you continue to superimpose, then your subconscious mind starts to say, now, I keep getting this new reality, this new impression, or this new repetition. That's when the brain now will start to filter. It will start to filter information now. You're going to have tunnel vision. So that new reality now will start to come into your brain's perception or spectrum, right? It's called synaptic pruning. Synaptic pruning is basically we're wiring our mind and our brain to see only what we want, the reality we want. Now, once you start to see that, it now starts to become physical, because now it goes to your subconscious, which controls your actions and habits, which will create that into our reality. That's how you move from this reality into a parallel reality. See that? There's hard science behind this. Now, I hope I've given you some tools now that you can definitely use and you can superimpose. That's powerful, right? So we're living in, unparalleled times. This is a great time to be alive. You chose this time to be here because now we're discovering all these things. 20, 30 years ago, we just believed there's one universe. Now we're seeing that there's a multiverse. Not only a multiverse, it could be actual infinite copies of you and I, living same lives, just doing things differently. And this is what the science and the physics and all these things are showing us. But here's something now, to our minds, right? It's not going to make sense to us. Matter of fact, some of us might refute it because of how we were programmed through religion and through things work. But I have to say this key point so you can get it. Here's the key point I want you to get. Our mind was not created to understand the deeper aspects of the universe. We were created here to interact with our environment. That's all it is, to observe it. Just like an animal. An animal is created to interpret its environment. An animal is never created to make sense or wonder why this is working or that. It can never figure it out. Same thing with the universe or the multiverse. It doesn't have to make sense to us. And we're seeing that every day. We're seeing new things that says, whoa, this doesn't add up. This is going beyond physics. How are we going to explain that? Well, that's why I said you have to have an open mind now. And once you start to do this, this will start to work, because think about this, right? All reality is a perception. Remember I said that space of fluidity, right? It's all empty, man. Me and you, we're all pretty much empty, the atoms. It's just a perception through the way these fields of energy vibrate, or the way they come into our existence. Solid, liquid, gas, the three forms, right? And they're all the same part, they're the same thing. So they're just different forms of matter. And if that's the case, then that's how you can see how it works. So start practicing that holographic impression, and you'll see very powerful. Because the thing is, once the image gets in your mind's eye, man, it gets into your core now, your entire cells. Your cells in your body. Let's use your body as an example. So if you want to get the body, I say, if you start to superimpose the perfect body you like to see every day through the mirror in the mind's eye, you reprogram the cells in your body. Metabolism speeds up. You might lose the weight, release the weight. You may start to tone up. The muscles may start to come. You don't even have to work out. Yes, this is possible. This is true, because the cells within your body, they listen and they watch the mental image in the mind, not outside. They only know what's going on in the head. They can't see outside. Your cells in your body cannot see what's going on out. They take information based on how you see yourself in the mind through your subconscious. So that's some powerful information for you today, and you can use it now and it will work magic for you. All right, so there you go, guys. Thanks.